that has become in the coronavirus period, when many elderly people are stuck at home, and even those with families, their families can't get to them necessarily.
Another remarkable organization, and not the last one, by the way, that we're going to see over the course of this ceremony. There's at least another one that's just a remarkable organization, and again, showing the nonprofit sector having really strong representation in this ceremony, and again, many wonderful nonprofits here in Israel, and again, we're seeing some of them on stage and highlighted, and it's really wonderful to see.
It is. And again, to go back to the situation, as I said before, this organization started with one particular focus to help people along on roadside, and has grown well beyond that mission now, helping the elderly and the most vulnerable population, certainly during this coronavirus situation.
That's right. And again, a wonderful thing to see.
והכל לכבודו יתברך ולתפארת מדינת ישראל. עדי אלצ'ולר.
Now, the next torchlighter is Addi Eizenstadt. She is 33 years old. She has a remarkable resume for a woman of just 33. She actually founded a number of nonprofit organizations. The most notable one is called Krembo Wings. Now, that is a youth movement. In Israel, we associate youth movements with either different political streams or the scouting movement. This was Israel's first youth movement specifically for young people with special needs. It's called Krembo Wings. Krembo is a treat for young people, and she in fact also founded a second organization called Zikaron B'Salon. This is bringing private individuals, survivors of the Holocaust, into salon meetings to convey their memories, their messages, and lessons of the Holocaust. So crucial because, of course, with each passing year, we are losing more and more of the survivors, especially this year, unfortunately.
Caleb, two nonprofits that are simply institutions in Israeli society. Krembo, Israeli society, and you're right, really filling a niche that is so important to so many families and hadn't really been addressed. And Zikaron B'Salon, again, focused with its activities on the Yom HaShoah Holocaust Remembrance Day that we commemorated last week. And again, we're experiencing a lot of these ceremonies are very important parts of Israeli culture, but they can seem a bit distant. And the idea of Zikaron B'Salon was to make it much more personal and to have much smaller group meetings on the night of Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Remembrance Day, for a much more personal experience of meeting a survivor. And Caleb, again, with so many of these survivors unfortunately leaving us year in, year out, more important than ever. So again, shows the startup nation in the nonprofit arena as well.
It certainly does. Imagine this woman is 33 and has founded these two well-established, now successful NGOs. I want to point out that her resume includes a stint at Google, Google for Education. This is a woman who obviously could have had a sterling career in the high-tech world. Instead, she's used her skills, used that, you mentioned Startup Nation, all that talent in the non-governmental arena, helping marginalized sides of Israeli society. Truly a worthy recipient to be a torchlighter.
Absolutely.
ולתפארת מדינת ישראל.
Now, our next torchlighter, Lori Palatnik, she is a representative here of the diaspora. We are actually going to hear her speak in English. She founded an organization called Momentum, which has been called Birthright for Mommies, connecting people through Israel, but we're not talking about young people necessarily in this case. And this is a fairly, as you can see here on the screen now, get a sense of bringing these women, we're talking about adult women, and connecting traveling through Israel, and of course, she will be speaking in English. She's representing the diaspora, something relatively new here in Israel's Independence Day, just the last few years.
That's right. Again, diaspora representatives often coming to the stage to light one of the 12 torches, and we see it right here before us, and she's about to speak. She'll be speaking in English, so we'll listen to her.
Ani Lori Palatnik, daughter of Fega Bat Rezo, may she be well. And Yol Ben Chaim Shmuel Halevi Zichron Levracha, Masia Masuazo. Lichvod, Jewish women all over the world that in these times are keeping their families together and strong. Lichvod, the profound mifgash between Israeli mothers and their sisters in the diaspora. Achdut v'lo achidut. Lichvod, Jewish communities across the globe who form the fabric of Jewish life in the diaspora. Lichvod, our future, our children, including our son Zev and all the other Chayalim Bodedim. In the merit of the righteous women, we were redeemed from Mitzrayim. Be'ezrat Hashem, we will emerge from this time to rebuild even stronger. Chazak Nashim, Chazak. Uleteferet Medinat Yisrael.
A mix of Hebrew and English there from Lori Palatnik. The next torchlighter representing Israel's armed forces. This is Colonel Hisham Ibrahim. He is one of the senior officers from Israel's Armored Corps. Maybe also, more importantly, he is a member of the Druze community. And Owen, we have to say, unlikely that it's a coincidence that this year's torchlighter was chosen for the military, was chosen from Israel's Druze minority.
That's right. First of all, again, trying to bring a mosaic of Israeli society. It's been a theme of this event. And again, the idea of representation of non-Jews has been very, very important. And of course, this is in the background of legislation over the course of the past couple of years of Israel's nation-state law that is very, very much upset, as you well know, Kalev, the Druze community here. Again, that law describing Israel as the state of the Jewish people, and in the view of its critics, giving Jews pride of place here in a way that hadn't been true in the past. There are, of course, supporters of the law who say that that's not the case, but it engendered some opposition in the Druze sector, and there's been, and again, the Druze are very, very popular across the political spectrum in Israel, so it makes sense as a part of this ceremony in terms of the image Israel wants to broadcast to itself to have the Druze community embraced.
We should know, as Hisham speaks, that Benny Gantz, when he was running for office, did say that he would make some amendments to that law, that the nation-state law that you talked about, particularly aspects that some in the Jewish community found objectionable. It'll be one of the interesting issues in this government, but with him and Benjamin Netanyahu. And certainly, as you say, the Druze community respected across the board here in Israel, and he's representing now that community in the torchlighting.
That's right. And again, the participation of Druze, particularly in the Israeli military, including its senior levels, is the greatest symbol of their integration into Israeli society. And again, we see that on our screens right now as part of this ceremony symbolizing Israel's Independence Day, and he's about to light the torch.
Well, now we're going back to show business and celebrity. This is Tzipi Shavit. As every Israeli child, anyone who grew up here knows her. She's an actress, a singer, entertainer, but really, especially when it comes to children's entertainment on television and on the stage. I would almost describe she's like a very high-energy Mr. Rogers, you might say. I mean, she is an Israeli icon, and certainly a worthy recipient. She just has brightened Israeli children now for generations.
That's right, Caleb. We opened this torchlighting ceremony with Idan Reichel, a household name in Israel and abroad, and now we are ending it with Tzipi Shavit, again, a household name, at least here in Israel. We should also, though, note, again, in keeping with the times, for the most prominent entertainers who are coming out to light these torches, it's one thing, but of course the sector of entertainment and music has been so hard hit by the pandemic that we also have to keep in mind the many, many thousands of people, not only here in Israel, but around the world, who are really suffering from that sector. And one can only hope for better times for them, and that in the meantime they can find a way to share their art with others in a different way and still be able to have a livelihood.
Right, it's Tzipi Shavit in her remarks making note of that the Israeli entertainers, performers, especially during this period, these past couple of months, have played such a role in sort of boosting the national morale, as that they have done in other countries, certainly in the U.S., as we've seen. And of course, as you said, they're suffering financially. Theaters, maybe the last venues that are business venues that are opened here, just by the nature of it. And financially, so many of these performers really depend on live performance.
And don't ignore Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day itself, Kalev. Those stages in every town and city and hamlet, those were stages on which performers were paid often a lot of money to perform. Those stages are all dark tonight. We are all in our homes. And again, a symbol of how these people are suffering.
Right. I think you can get, even without understanding her Hebrew, just the ebullient style of Tzipi Shavit. She just talked about looking forward to the days when Israelis can hug and kiss each other together in affection.
זכיתי ולתפארת מדינת ישראל.
עשרה משואות כנגד 12 שבטי Israel.
And that concludes the torch lighting. Now, we are looking at the fireworks celebration above Jerusalem. Now, I have to say, Owen, that usually in every not just city, really just almost about in every community in Israel, there are usually fireworks celebrations. Most of them have been canceled this evening, but the one in Jerusalem was allowed to go ahead. Let's take a listen to some of the performances there on Har Herzl.
ולא יישא עוד גוי אל גוי חרב, הלוואי, ולא ננטוש את דרך התקווה, הלוואי, והאדם יהיה רחום עד ערב, הלוואי, שיש סיכוי אחד לאהבה, הלוואי, שלא נדחה ואיש אחיו יואב, הלוואי, ויפתחו שוב שערי גן עדן,
למסיעי המשואות וללהקות הצבאיות.
כבכל שנה יועברו הערב הדגלים הראשיים.
As I said, Owen, we saw the fireworks celebration in Jerusalem. In other communities, most of them, they were canceled, including here in Tel Aviv.
Your haircut and you moved both, so I'm
just
completely
throwing you
thrown into a
curveballs
tizzy.
left and right.
Thank you.
Governor, part of the plan you detailed yesterday, including safe places for isolation, rather than sending positive COVID-19 patients home to isolate with their families. At what point will the state consider designating more facilities for centralized isolation? Commissioner Persicelli, what is your reaction to the test results from 16 South Jersey long-term care facilities? And how will the findings from this study inform a statewide testing program?